Hey y'all, welcome back to a slightly later edition of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. So we're in a slightly different recording spot and we're actually late. Normally I would have posted the video 10 minutes ago, but I did not record it ahead of time because I wanted to go live today because we're doing something fun. But then YouTube let me know that for whatever reason, I'm not sure, I can't go live yet. There's maybe some channel rules or maybe I'm not big enough. I don't know. I'm just a little mini creator. So maybe someday my channel will grow up and I can go live too. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and record at 7 a.m. Friday morning, mandatory work from home. I'm demoing my house, so it's very echoey. My office is in disarray. I'm actually sitting on my living room sofa, which is in my dining room. It's just a mess, so bear with me. I'm having a week. Not to mention that my kids are out of school now for 6 weeks. Thanks, coronavirus. Okay. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided to let the internet decide our topics this week. I know. Am I new? What was I thinking? I was thinking it might be fun. And are we having fun yet? I'm not so sure. So we are literally picking topics out of a hat. You guys asked for this, you savages. Okay, so maybe we'll get to a couple questions. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've got a handful of things in here that I've polled the internet. So thanks, Twitter and LinkedIn friends. So maybe we'll answer a few. I don't know. Let's see what the first one is and how long we can get through it. Okay, leveling. Oh, this is a great one. Leveling and how does it work? This was a recommendation from my friend Kristen, who is an amazing local Seattle area recruiter. She is fantastic. If you are not following her or reading her blogs, do so. Kristen Fife, she's great. I've been a longtime fan of Kristen. So thank you for that, my friend. So leveling. This is a really interesting one. I know that people get a little salty when we start putting expectations on them, and especially if those expectations seem beneath them, they get really mad. So case in point, okay, let's back up a minute. Okay. Levels.fyi. This is a website that I would encourage those in tech. Sorry, I'm in tech. I know tech. Tech is usually what I talk about. Sorry. Levels.fyi is a great resource that is generally pretty spot on. The data is pretty good, I think, having worked for 3 of the companies that they talk about. You can compare, you can kind of see, okay, what does a level 5 at Facebook map to at Microsoft? Because the numbers are very different, right? Microsoft has 2-digit numbers. I think everybody else is using 1-digit numbers, but you can kind of see, like, generally speaking, what one level here looks like over there. So it's kind of cool, and you can break it down by title or, you know, if you're in management and things like that. So there's some goodness there. I definitely would recommend checking out. But beyond that, talk to your recruiter. And here's why, okay? The way companies are thinking of leveling is we create a set of expectations. And by we, I mean probably somebody in legal and leadership and way above my pay grade. I've never been asked, though I'm sure that there are, you know, more senior tenured recruiters who get to weigh in on these things. So we set this grid or this rubric of expectations, and we say, okay, a level 5 software engineer at Google, for example, is going to be expected to perform certain things, and they're going to be expected to perform at a certain level and have a certain ability, and so there's all kinds of things around, you know, the kind of work that you're putting out, if it's, you know, code, if, you know, also things like how much supervision you might need, you know, how independently you're able to work, you know, things like that. So I don't, you know, obviously have any of those in front of me. I can't read you line for line, but I think it's reasonable to maybe kind of talk through the recruiter high level and be like, what are the expectations of this role? What are the things that this person in this position is expected to accomplish. And that's what a level maps to. It doesn't mean, well, I've been a senior VP at ABC startup leading a team of 30 people, I should be a VP at Google. Oh, honey, no. No, that's not how this works. Titles don't map. You could be grand poobah of IT, but if you're not doing the scope and scale of the work for a given level, then you're not going to qualify for that level. Okay, I mean, that's just, it's not a personal thing. It's not that we don't believe you're awesome. It's that a level will have certain expectations tied to it. So we're looking at your background. We're interviewing you based on what we think we have learned about you and what we can verify about you and your skills and abilities, and we're mapping that to an appropriate place in our level stack, if you will, that says, okay, we think this person can perform really well here. And that, again, that could be a level 5, it could be a level 63, it could, it depends on the company. They're all over the place, they'll have their own number, sequencing, all that good stuff. So don't get hung up on title. This is one of the dumbest things that I see candidates do sometimes. I'm sorry, I'm giving you a little tough love here because it's really, really early and I've only had 1.5 cups of coffee. I'm tired, y'all. But it really is, don't just, if title's important to you, find a company that cares about that stuff. I don't know where they are. I couldn't recommend one. I've never worked for a company that cares a lot about title, but boy, candidates sure seem to a lot. I don't know. It's kind of odd to me. So anyway, I would encourage you, get off the title wagon, jump on the expectation wagon. What are the expectations of this role? And that is what the levels are going to map to. Now, the second piece of that is most recruiters, if they're smart, and the hiring managers and the decision committees or whoever's, kind of saying, yeah, we can hire this person, they want to bring you in at a level that is fair, but that also sets you up for success. I know a lot of people have complained about, well, that's too junior and I was expecting this and my friend got hired at that. I understand. I know. I will tell you personally, when I joined Microsoft, I was a little salty because I felt like I was hired at too low of a level. I mean, first of all, I was just really happy to be getting an offer from like this giant, amazing company in my backyard that I never thought would want someone like me. But they did, but they wanted me at a very low level. And I remember being very conflicted and kind of thinking, well, gosh, I've been recruiting for all these years and I don't know, this seems a little low. Like, aren't I closer to senior? I didn't get it. But, hey, the money was right and I loved the team, and Cody, who was my boss for about 2 weeks and who had hired me, thank you, Cody, was great. And so there were a lot of things in the plus column, but it took me kind of getting out of my own way to be okay with the level that I was offered. And I'm so happy that I did, because it set me up for a really nice career trajectory. I got promoted a couple times. Once I got in and I was able to see, okay, the reason I'm at this level is because this is the expectation. This is the scope of work. This is what I have to deliver against. It just made a lot more sense. And I was able to do so very well, very quickly, which set me up for a really positive experience. And again, I've said this 1,000 times on the channel, I loved my experience at Microsoft. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. I mean, I'm currently probably in my most favorite job ever because I'm doing it and I love it. But, I honestly, looking back on my career, since getting into big tech, I've been incredibly fortunate, and I definitely owe it to that early entry at Microsoft. Even though I came in at what I thought was a junior level, it was the right level for my skills, experience, and backgrounds and where I needed to ramp up. So I'm grateful for people who were willing to kind of say, Amy, this is what's right for you, trust us. And I did, and it worked out. So I would encourage you to do the same, honestly. Get out of your own way, okay? Focus on expectations of the role, focus on what am I going to be asked to deliver, focus on what do I need to do to get to the next level once I'm on board and once I'm fully ramped. Those are the kind of questions I want you to ask. I don't want you getting hung up on, oh my God, well, my friend was hired as a level 6 and I can't believe you're making me a level 5 offer. That's not fair. I mean, there's so many variables there. It could be a totally different team. This person may just have a different set of experiences that aligns better to a level 6. You might be coming from a smaller company, which generally that tells us there's a smaller scope that's happening. So think about the number, especially for leadership, right? How many people have you managed? If you're a VP, but you've only managed 20 people, you're probably a level 6 manager. That's the size of team and the scope of work that we see typically at that level. So, just as an example, so things like that, don't be afraid to take a perceived step back, because it is probably more your impression and less actual reality, if that makes sense. And again, not trying to minimize your experience at all or make you feel less than incredibly capable, because I know you're not. I know you're amazing, I'm sure, but just don't get in your own way with stuff like this. Just it's fine to ask the question. It's fine to understand the impact to, compensation ranges or bonus potential and stuff. I get it. These are all important factors that you want to think about as you're thinking about maybe an offer, but don't get in your own way here, y'all. I mean, just if the job is mapped to the work that you want to do and the scale and scope of work that you're capable of doing really well at, do it. Forget about the level, focus on the job content, get in there and kick ass and get promoted. All right, that's my advice. So thank you, Kristen, for the suggestion. We got a few more things in the hat. Maybe we'll pick something else out of the hat for next week. We'll try to figure out this live thing, or maybe I'll just get off my ass early and record like I usually do, so we're not late. All right, y'all, have an awesome Friday the 13th. I'm going to get out of the way because I think my contractor's coming in any minute to finish my floors. I can't wait. I'll show you guys next week. See ya.